Mike Perlak here to talk to you. This is just going to be a journal entry number 59. I haven't done one in a month. The last one I did was about my father's life savings. $3. Or no, $6. $6 and a nickel. It was wrapped up in a bank envelope in his storage with all this stuff. Anyways, so this will be journal entry number 59. A couple days ago, I was at 190 subscribers, including, now it's 193. I tend to gain a few, lose one, gain a few, gain one. Good enough ratio for me. But two of them are big names. I have 2 subscribers that are pretty big names. You may have heard of Keanu Reeves or Elon Musk. Now, I'm not. I'll admit, in the past, I was pretty gullible and easily fooled when I was a kid. Matter of fact, one of the stories I'm going to share is directly related to that. But no, these people get on social media, they assume some ID, and humans are vicious little creatures, and they're always trying to get away with something. Has a story that a personal memory, I remembered today. Actually, I'm not going to go into details, but something happened at work today. I'm not going to talk about that, only to say that I'm the type of person that actually cares about doing a job that somebody gives me and doing that job correctly. I guess that's not the case for a lot of working class people. I don't know. Anyways, so here's my story. When I was a kid, this is going back quite a ways. I had a job at a gas station for about a week. My mom might remember this. Across from the school, loving neighborhood, quote unquote. What the, yeah. Anyways, so I had a job for about a week at a gas station. I vaguely remember it was two women that worked there. I think one was a shift manager, and the other one just worked there and was an employee like me. And the franchise manager, a wet behind the ears gentleman who I recall only seeing once that week I worked there. And the only reason I remember that is because one of the girls was actually sleeping in the back room, and this franchise manager, who obviously this guy was managing, this is one of probably hundreds of gas stations this guy was managing. But anyways, he was taking up issue with one of the girls, I believe it was the shift manager, because she was taking up habit of sleeping in the back room as opposed to going home when her shift is over. Her argument was it took her so long to get home, and she had to be back there in 4 hours to work some more. So so whatever, Anyways, these girls, when as I was being trained on the job and everything, brought up this thing about how we take a pack cigarettes out of a carton, and so every carton is one less cigarette. And if you want in on this, Mike, if Mike wants in on this, I was like, no thank you, I don't smoke. Looking back, these girls had probably more street smarts than I did. But looking back, that's what sealed my fate. By the end of the week, these 2 females had the franchise manager convinced I was stealing cigarettes. I, a non-smoker who can count on one hand how many cigarettes I've tried to smoke in my flunking life. But I didn't. I was a stupid kid. I was naive. I didn't see it at the time. But that's what it was. These females were just more better at manipulation than I was. But anyways, after a week, so I lost that job. You know what? I hope those ladies robbed that gas station blind. I hope they got all their cigarettes and robbed that gas station. No, I don't do that. As Christians, we're not supposed to do that. So no, I take that back. I don't do it. Whatever. Anyways, so that's my story, and it kind of relates to something that happened at work today. I'm just the kind of person, I actually care about my job, and I want to do a good job. That doesn't seem to be the case with other people. Even if you have a good job, they just don't care, I guess. They don't really care at the end of the day. But whatever, I can't relate to that. I guess I'm a goody two-shoes, like the Tommy Two-Toe. Or no, that's not Tommy Two-Toes. That's Adamant. Goody goody. Don't want this video to get copyright claimed. But yeah, that Adamant song, Goody Two-Shoes. That's me, I guess. That really is me. That song is definitely about me. Oh, there was one other thing I did want to share in regards to that story. I just remember, because of my own young naivety, I just remember walking home. That's what they told me, you don't work anymore. I just remember walking home just confused, like, what the hell happened? But like I said, it was just a stupid gas station. And it was 1 week of my whole life, so. But, yeah, what happened at my work today. Anyways, it just sparked that memory. Anyways, I can't do a video without talking about politics. So here goes. So I was thinking about Alberta from Canada, which I found out recently that's the area of Canada that Michael J. Fox is from. No wonder his parents were conservative and traditional. Alberta, Canada, succeeding from the rest of Canada. I was thinking about this, and Alberta is just tired of the rest of Canada wasting the money that Alberta brings to the country of Canada. And for the record, this whole secession thing, succeeding from Canada, this actually almost happened in 1995 with Alberta succeeding from Canada. And it got me thinking, what if Hillary Clinton never became governor of New York City? Remember Hillary? My fellow New Yorkers. This woman from fucking Arkansas. My fellow New Yorkers. And she only won because of all the male simps in Congress, and she had the sympathy of women. We all know why. But I thought, would it be a better world today if Hillary had never became governor of New York City? Would it be a better world? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. God only knows. Maybe it all it was all meant to go this way. Hillary becoming mayor of New York City and then almost president needed to happen because God in his wisdom knew it was the only way that eyes were going to be opened to what is really happening in this country. You say what you want about Trump, and he is a blabbermouth. Like that one video where it's Ralph Crandom talking to Alice's wife, the blabbermouth. But it's Trump going on about talking himself up constantly. And so you can say, yeah, Trump he is a blabbermouth. But you know what? His stories are consistent. Whenever he tells a story, I'm like, this is the same story he was telling at the rallies 5-10 years ago. Trump's stories are consistent. Actually, it's a breath of fresh air when you think about what we had to deal with as voters and our political leaders up to this point. It's actually a breath of fresh air. They're singing out that he's calling the Obamas monkeys because of some stupid thing that I didn't even know about. Something called auto scroll on frickin' TikToks. What the hell? I get annoyed by ads. Auto scroll might actually prompt me to stop watching social media and just make videos. I'll tell you that much. But it was like auto scroll. What the hell is that? Yeah, but they're saying that. But and I'm thinking, what about what conservatives, what or the extreme right were saying about when Biden became elected, and the background was all red and he looked like a Nazi. And remember that, kids? Oh God, same BS, different day. And then you got this guy, I guess he's gay or something. He calls himself Fag Bunny. Anyways, this guy Fag Bunny is telling me that I'm a bad person unless I learn Spanish. If I want to learn Spanish, I'll learn Spanish. But I ain't going to have somebody tell me I got to learn something or I'm a bad person. Ironically, in my life, the only true national MAGA people I ever personally met face to face, they had a truck and everything, were from Texas and originally from Mexico. They told me, because I was a Trump supporter, so we trucked up a conversation. But yeah, that Fag Bunny, you can keep Fag Bunny. I'll take Kid Rock singing American Badass. Yeah, I'll take that. That is a halftime show. But that's why, sports suck nowadays. I never was really a sports fan, but maybe I would be if it was available on free TV. But it's not. You got to pay extra. And that's why sports has become universal. No nationalism. Just one size fits all, according to the folks with all the money and power. The folks with all the money and power, they decide what that one size fits all is. That's why that's why they've been silencing conservative voices on social media while Biden was president. Speaking of too much money and power, well, not so much power, but money, but I was thinking Jay-Z, the rapper, Jay-Z, I remember I learned once years ago that he actually owns the rights to the color blue jay. So I guess for every Crayola crayon of the color blue jay they put in the Crayola box, they got to give Jay-Z a nickel or something. What the hell? I mean, okay, yeah, capitalism. I'm all for making money. But I think Jay-Z is probably the best example I thought I could think of somebody with too much money and too much influence. Not so much power, although with money comes a little bit of power. But Jay-Z is a perfect example of somebody with too much money and influence and pushes their idea and values, their emotional baggage on the rest of the world. Maybe I'm a fool. I'm the fool for buying his CDs in the past. not recently. Oh man. All right, now that's all the time I have, so I'm just going to end with a kind of sort of joke on the definition of what is a racist. Let's think about this. I think in today's world, a racist is a conservative that is winning a debate with a liberal. Racism is nothing but it's something that has been weaponized against traditionalism. That's all racism is now. It's a weaponization against traditionalism. That's all racist is now. That's all it is. Mike Paralak, thank you for your time.